Have you ever wondered how nations keep watch in a world that's just overflowing with information? Well, today we're going to dive into how artificial intelligence is building a totally new kind of digital watchtower, and it's completely changing the game of global surveillance. Let's get right into it. But to really get why AI is such a huge deal, we first need to wrap our heads around the massive, and I mean colossal, problem it's trying to solve. It's a problem of scale. You could call it a true data deluge. We've all heard that old saying, finding a needle in a haystack. But think about this for a second. What if it's not one haystack? What if you're trying to find one tiny needle in a billion haystacks, and they're all being dumped on you at the exact same time? Yeah, that's the kind of challenge we're talking about. And that isn't just some crazy analogy. For the folks working as intelligence analysts, that is their daily reality. Sifting through these absolute mountains of data, hoping to find that one critical clue, it's just an overwhelming, almost impossible task for a human being. So how did we get here? Well, this timeline shows you the whole story. You can see the progression, right? It starts with simple observation balloons way back in the 19th century. Then you get recon aircraft, then Cold War spy satellites. Each step turned up the volume on data, for sure. But the leap to today, with drones, global sensors, the internet, it's not a step, it's an explosion. It's a nonstop, torrential flood of information. And here's the bottom line. We've gotten incredibly good at collecting data, just fantastic at it. But our ability to actually sit down, look at it, and make sense of it all, that's been left in the dust. And this creates a huge bottleneck, a place where really vital intelligence can just get lost in all the noise. Okay, so that's the problem. And this right here is where AI comes into the picture. Now, it's not some magic wand, but it's a super powerful set of tools that are basically designed to tackle this data overload head-on and clear out that bottleneck. Right. It's so important to remember that AI isn't just one single thing. It's more like a toolkit. And for the world of intelligence, there are 3 tools in that kit that are just complete game changers. First up, you've got computer vision. This is basically what it sounds like. We're teaching machines how to see. They can scan millions of hours of satellite footage or drone video and spot things, like a specific vehicle or a new building, at a speed that no human team could ever hope to match. Then there's natural language processing, or NLP. This is all about giving machines the power to read and understand our language. So now a computer can tear through endless reports, communications, and news feeds, and just automatically pull out the key names, the places, the important topics. It's incredible. And finally, the third tool is machine learning. You can think of this as the engine that makes the whole thing run. Machine learning allows these systems to find subtle patterns and connections in all that data, things that are often totally invisible to the human eye, all without a person having to program every single rule. It learns on its own. Okay, so we've got the toolkit: computer vision, NLP, and machine learning. But what does that actually look like when they're put to work? Let's check out what this means for real-world intelligence. The uses are just unbelievably broad. We're talking about things like automated target recognition, so the machine spots the target for you; anomaly detection, which is noticing when something is out of place; even predictive intelligence, trying to figure out what might happen next. And it can fuse all these different bits of information together into one clear picture. Let's break down anomaly detection, because it's a great example. It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, the AI just watches and learns the normal pattern of life in an area from tons of old data. What traffic looks like when people are out and about. That's step 1. Then, for step 2, it just keeps watching, constantly looking for anything that breaks that normal pattern. Finally, step 3, when it spots a big change, it flags it and says, "Hey, human analyst, you should probably take a look at this." And that right there is the whole point. The AI handles the mind-numbing, frankly impossible job of watching everything all the time. This frees up the human experts to do what humans do best: think critically, add context, and use their judgment on the stuff that actually matters. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. This kind of incredible power, well, it doesn't come without some really serious challenges and big risks. We have to be really clear-eyed and honest about the potential downsides here. And one of the biggest issues is what's called the black box problem. See, a lot of these advanced AIs can give you an answer, but they can't tell you how they got to it. It's a black box. And when you're talking about high-stakes national security, not being able to explain the why, well, that's a really big problem. So you've got this constant push and pull. On one side, you have the promise of amazing speed, massive scale, and getting these deep insights we never could before. But on the other side, you've got the peril. Things like algorithmic bias, where bad data teaches the AI the wrong things. Or even adversarial attacks, where an enemy could actually trick the system into seeing something that isn't really there. And this leads us to some really tough, fundamental questions that honestly, we're just starting to figure out. If an AI system messes up, who's accountable? Who takes the blame? With all this surveillance, how do we protect people's privacy? And maybe the biggest question of all, what role do we let these systems play in life or death decisions? So, keeping all of that in mind, the incredible potential and the serious risks, what does the road ahead actually look like? What is the future of intelligence going to be in this age of AI? You know, this quote here really says it all. The future isn't about machines replacing people. It's about creating a deep, powerful partnership, a symbiosis between humans and machines. What this means is that the job of a human analyst is changing big time. It used to be about digging through raw data, but now, with AI handling that part, the human's role gets elevated. They become the strategic thinker, the person who asks the hard questions, and tells the AI what to look for. At the end of the day, it's all about building the perfect team. The goal is to fuse the raw, brute force number crunching power of the machine with the intuition, the wisdom, and the real-world context that only a human expert can bring to the table. And that leaves us with one final, really important question to think about. As machines get better and better at finding the patterns, at telling us what is happening, our job becomes about defining the so what. It's a future where maybe the most valuable human skill isn't finding the answer, but knowing which question to ask in the first place. What do you think that means for us?